Hi, I'm Dr. B, psychiatric nurse practitioner and creator of choice mapping. Today I'm going to do a series on grieving the loss of a child. Unfortunately, I have experienced this pain, and I want you to know that you can be okay, that there can be hope and happiness in your future. So this first video, I'd like to introduce you to Johnny. Johnny was adopted when he was 13 years old, and he was a quiet young man, and he had two younger sisters that we also adopted, and we were just really getting to know him. He was very friendly with Reggie. He would spend hours jumping on the trampoline with Reggie. He would pick on his sisters constantly, but he was their protector. They had been a sibling group since they were young, had never been separated, and he was the glue that brought this sibling group into our family. I remember the day they called us. We had applied to be foster to adopt parents, and they called us up and they said, "There's a boy here. He could be your son. You know, he's mixed and he has no problems, but he has no place to stay tonight." And when we went to go pick him up, we walked in the room and he was there with his two sisters, and they're like, "Oh, by the way, those are his two sisters." And I truly believe that that was the catalyst to bring this sibling group into our family. There was a lot of struggles. The honeymoon period only lasted about 6 months, but we were beginning to truly bond and love Johnny. And I would tell them, they had been through so much prior to being adopted by us, and I would tell them all the time, "You are safe now. You are safe. We will take care of you. You don't have to worry." We went on our first family vacation to Kentucky, and everyone was having a great time. It's the first time they had been out of the city. They were, born and raised in Miami, and we were in the hills of Kentucky, and they were fitting right in, getting dirty, getting muddy. And we went to, one day, people were doing different things, and the boys were going down to the river. And Johnny knew how to swim in a swimming pool, but I said, "You should really wear a life jacket." And I went kayaking with my cousin. And I remember very distinctly going down the river in the kayak and coming to this big rock. And there was a park ranger standing on the rock. And he made us get out of the water, which was so unusual. And we're like, "What's going on? What's going on?" He's like, "There's an emergency down river." And my heart sunk. It's like I knew something bad was happening. My cousin ran down there. I went to the road. My uncle came to pick me up. And I will never forget. He looked at me and just said, "Johnny has drowned." And those moments will replay in your life over and over again. But I remember the only thing I could think of is, "Oh my God, his sisters. I promised that nothing bad would happen." Somebody went and got his sisters and my husband, and we were standing on the riverbank where he had went under. And there was search and rescue. And it had been a solid 45 minutes that he'd been underwater. So as a nurse, I knew he was gone. But my husband was standing there praying for them to pull him out alive. And I'll tell you, my walk with God changed that day. And losing a child, there's no way that your walk with God won't change, that your life won't change, that this will be something in your life that you will have to process and grieve over and over again. And not to minimize that pain. It happens so fast, and I know there's so many times where an accident happens. Like you have a relationship with your child, everything is normal, and one day the whole world changes. And I know that happened to some really good friends of ours just a year ago, where their son died in a car accident. And wrestling with God over this grief. Like, there's no way to explain it. I can just tell you that you have to separate it. You have to grieve. And the only way to grieve is to feel the pain. You know, the injustices is a different category, and your spiritual conflict is a different category. But don't give up. Don't give up on life. I truly believe that we can find hope and happiness. I truly believe that we are mentally strong.